Hi, I'm Emily Duffin, and we're here at Conestoga College. We're just working on a sculpture of Roberta Bondar for the CJEP competition in Rimini. So we chose to do Roberta Bondar as the subject for our sculpture because the competition outline asked us to pick a significant Canadian who has made contributions to their field. So Roberta Bondar is a famous Canadian astronaut. She's the first female Canadian astronaut, and she's also a neuroscientist with a PhD. So we wanted to celebrate her achievements and her contributions to her field. The next step for our sculpture will be just assembly of all the pieces. So we have all the pieces casted and we just have to put them together now. The final piece will end up being like 1.20 or 1.20 centimeters tall. When we're at the competition, the final piece, we'll have to remake it again and it'll be displayed as our final showpiece at the competition. For the steps to build our sculpture, we basically start by casting all the bigger pieces. So her body is cast in 2 separate parts, as well as her head is also cast in 2 separate parts, and the neck. And then we have all our smaller pieces. Most of these are cast as well. And these bigger pieces are just big slabs that we cast with the help of silicone bars to kind of make the curved shape. So once we have all those pieces cast, we start assembly of like the bigger pieces. Eventually we're gonna add color after some of the pieces are together, and then they all will come together on our base to create the finished piece. Some of the pieces we have here are the flame for behind the rocket here. So it'll eventually be connected like this. This is actually the spaceship. It's based on the one that Roberta went to space in. We also have these kind of dome shapes, which we're going to use to represent like planets in the final piece. We have the like fins for the rocket ship, engine, and then we have some just decorative pieces as well. We're just using these to kind of create movement in our final piece. And then these larger pieces as well are just decorative to create some movement. We make sure that these pieces are nice and thick to make sure they will stand up in the final piece. And then these bigger ones as well will be supporting some of the planets and the smaller pieces, so we have to make sure they're thick enough to do that. To make all these pieces here, we've been working over quite a few weeks now. We sculpted the body and all the facial features. The facial features we did in clay, the body we did in chocolate. To just speed up the process for the competition, we casted them all in silicone. What we've done over the course of a few weeks, we'll have to do all in one day at the competition. These bigger pieces, we just cast them on the table and they set over the course of 5 to 10 minutes, and then we can cut them out when they're partially set still and then just leave them to continue setting. So this is one of the examples of our silicone molds. We just purchased these. This is the silicone product, and then this is a plastic, a harder shell that we can put on the outside to help the silicone keep its place while we're casting. And so we had our original head that we painted our silicone layer over. It took about 3 or 4 layers of the silicone to get a nice durable mold. So this silicone layer captures all the details of the face, and then we put our plastic layer over top of the silicone, and then that gives us our hard and durable outer shell. And so that process took a couple days just to let the silicone set in between each layer, and then the final layer of silicone had to set before we could do the plastic over top. Her face I sculpted out of clay. We had kind of like a styrofoam, just a styrofoam head with minimal detail, and then I just sculpted all the little clay details over top. We just captured them all in the silicone so that when we cast it in chocolate, we don't have to individually mold all those little details on the day of the competition. So we haven't added the colors yet, but we have like pigmented cocoa butter. So we are going to use like a roller and just kind of paint them on. And then we use different techniques like brushing to get these kind of designs. And we also can like splatter the cocoa butter with a brush just to get a variety of different designs. And then for this piece, we sprayed blue and then sprayed a darker blue from the bottom just to get like an interesting gradient. And then for more like precise designs like this, we had a acetate sheet that we put over top, and then we could paint just part of it black just to protect the white underneath. Things like this as well, we just brushed. So we painted the red and then put the orange and the yellow over top. I guess the most challenging part of just the whole sculpture process is getting it all done in the time limit. So we've been putting in a lot of work now before the competition just to make the process at the show easier and faster. Just having it all come together at the show, I think, will be the most satisfying part of the process. I would say just to get into chocolate work or pastry, it just takes a lot of effort and determination. I think if you have like the drive to stick with it, then that helps a lot for getting into this kind of work. I think it requires a lot of attention to detail, creativity, and like an eye for design for like chocolate specifically, and pastry as well. There's a big artistic side of it. And then it also just takes the ability to repeat something over and over and over and over, and have the attention to detail to do it correctly every single time. I got into pastry because I've always loved baking with my family as a kid. I wanted to continue that as my profession, and I really like the creative side of it, like coming up with my own recipes and designing this kind of sculptural thing. I hope you learned more about how chocolate sculptures are made, and thanks for watching.